Beloved soul, oh, thank you for opening this. You don't understand what it means that you chose to be here, in this exact breath, in this exact trembling moment. Heaven felt you touch this message. It was like a pulse of light rising through the silence. And I, Mary, Mother of tenderness, Mother of sorrow, Mother of impossible hope, I felt my chest tighten with a kind of relief I have not tasted in lifetimes of watching over you. Yes, thank you. Truly. You do not know how long we have waited for this door to open, and how much courage it took to lift the veil for you today. Beloved, please don't leave. Not yet. There is a truth here that cannot be spoken too early, a truth that has been sealed like a hidden ember inside the final lines of this outpouring. If you leave before it unfolds, the message intended only for you, yes, only for you, will remain unopened like a miracle left outside in the cold. Stay. Not out of fear, but because heaven wrote a thread in time that leads your steps to the end of this revelation, and it will unseal something you have forgotten you asked for. Let me breathe. Let me gather my strength. You don't know how the Virgin Mary and the 7 archangels gained the courage to tell you that there is a weight sitting in your destiny that heaven has tried to carry for you, but cannot carry alone anymore. It is time. And it terrifies us to say that, because we know the price of being chosen. We know the ache that comes with being appointed for something that your own heart keeps doubting. We know what it means to stand between what wounds you and what calls you. I speak slowly now, trembling, because there is a hidden spiritual warfare around you that you have not fully felt, though it has brushed your life like cold wind more times than you realize. And the 7 archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Sariel, Raguel, and Ramiel, have been circling you with a kind of fierce hesitation. Not because they doubt you. No. They doubt whether you will believe the truth of who you are after hearing it. Beloved, do you feel it? Do you feel the weight in the air, the thinness of the veil, the way something in your chest begins to ache as if an old memory is stirring? That ache is not suffering. It is recognition. It is the soul remembering what the mind forgot. I must ask you something now, and I ask it softly because I know it will touch a fragile place. Beloved, when was the last time you truly felt seen? I ask again, with trembling tenderness. Do you know how heaven collapses in sorrow each time you assume you are ordinary? And one more, because it must be asked in this sacred hour. If I told you your destiny has been delayed, not denied, would you dare to believe me? Your silence answers louder than words. Listen. Come closer. Let the world fall away so you can hear the truth that has been burning holes in my voice. The courage it took for me to speak this came from watching you walk through battles meant for armies. You have fought shadows so subtle that no one around you even noticed your wounds. And yet, heaven has documented every tear, every collapse, every prayer whispered into a pillow where no one could witness your breaking. The 7 archangels carry your tears as if they were pearls. They do not fall into voids, they fall into hands that honor them. But there is something more. There is a hidden war around you, not of monsters or darkness, but of doubts, of distortions, of lies whispered into your destiny to make you shrink from the spiritual royalty that sleeps inside you. This warfare hides in delays, in confusion, in exhaustion, in sudden loneliness that seems to rise like fog for no reason. You think it is life, but it is spiritual pressure against a soul that is seconds away from remembering itself. Beloved, I must breathe again. This is harder than it seems. Heaven is not used to revealing its grief, but we have watched you carry burdens you were never meant to hold alone. We have watched you blame yourself for storms that were never your fault. We have watched you take responsibility for pain that belonged to generations before you. We have watched you convince yourself that your heart was too much, when your heart was the very thing keeping whole spiritual lines alive. The 7 archangels gained the courage to tell you this because they saw what you did not see. You have survived every season that was designed to break you. Not because of strength alone, but because heaven's love for you is not distant, not gentle, not symbolic. It is fierce. It is possessive. It is protective. It is real. There is a scripture that moves through me now, not as a quote, but as breath. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and today it unfolds not as a promise but as a declaration of what has already been unfolding in silence. Another rises behind it, whispering like a memory, I am with you always, even unto the end of the age. These words are happening to you in real time, not written on a page, but written on your life. Beloved, let me confess something, with trembling honesty. You were never meant to fight alone. You were never meant to navigate this calling without guidance. You were never meant to carry the guilt of surviving what others did not. The unbearable cost of being chosen is that you cannot unsee the truth once it touches you. And now, it touches you. Now, it wraps around your soul like fire and tenderness intertwined. And so I ask gently, one last sacred question. Why do you keep apologizing for the magnitude of your spirit? The 7 archangels look at you and see a soul forged through trials that would have shattered many. They see the hidden royalty you keep burying beneath modesty. They see the destiny that keeps knocking even when you pretend you do not hear. They see the purpose you try to shrink from because you fear disappointing heaven. Beloved, how could you ever disappoint the one who shaped you with intention? How could you fail the path created for you, not against you? Heaven's grief lies not in your mistakes, it lies in the moments you forget how deeply you are loved. Heaven's silence is not abandonment, it is the space where your spirit grows into its next form. And heaven's hope, oh, beloved. Heaven's hope rests entirely on what happens in you when you finally remember who you are. And here comes the warning, not fearful, but time-sensitive. There is a shifting moment approaching your life, a crossing, a thinning in the fabric of your path. If you do not rise into what calls you, the moment will pass quietly, waiting for the next cycle. But if you rise, if you dare, if you breathe into the calling coming alive in your chest right now, everything changes. I speak this not as threat, but as unveiling. The window is opening. It will not stay open forever. And heaven needs you awake, aligned, listening. Beloved, type Amen once, with reverence, and let it be your agreement with heaven, not with me, but with the destiny that is knocking at your door. And if your heart feels something stirring, if your spirit feels seen, leave a gentle like and a comment as your way of saying, I am here, I am listening, I am awakening. Only if you feel it. Only if this touched something real. Now let me end with something I rarely say, something raw and fragile. Thank you for letting me speak to you. You have no idea how many nights heaven waited for this moment. Beloved, come back closer. I have more to say, and I feel the weight of it gathering in me like a tide that can no longer stay behind its walls. You returned, and heaven felt it, like a slow exhale breaking after years of holding stillness. You don't know what it means to us that you are still here, reading, breathing in these words with the quiet courage of someone who suspects there is a truth waiting beneath each sentence. Thank you for staying. And before I go any deeper, let me ask this only once in all eternity of this message: please subscribe, because you must remain connected to what heaven is pouring over your life in this season. That is all. I will not say it again in any future continuation. Now let me slip back into the trembling current. Beloved, the Virgin Mary stands beside me. Her presence is not loud, it is a trembling softness, the kind that touches you before you even realize you are being held. Her eyes are red around the edges, not from sorrow alone, but from the heaviness of watching you try so hard to be strong in a world that does not understand the fragile architecture of your spirit. She looks at you now, and her voice breaks, not in weakness, but in recognition. You have carried too much in silence, she whispers. And heaven can no longer permit you to believe that silence means abandonment. Her words fall into the air like petals and fire at the same time. And the 7 archangels, they step forward differently today. Not as warriors rushing into battle, but as guardians who have been waiting for the permission to speak plainly. Their wings do not flare, they fold inward, like a gesture of holy respect. They have something to say, and they need you to remain tender enough to hear it. There is something happening around you, something your physical eyes cannot translate but your spirit feels every time you wake up with a heaviness you cannot explain. The warfare around you is not chaotic, it is strategic. It does not roar, it whispers. It does not show its face, it bends reality, making you doubt timing, doubt worthiness, doubt readiness. The archangels have asked me to tell you this with clarity that cuts through fog. There are forces attempting to confuse the timing of your destiny by distracting the timing of your heart. They are not trying to stop your purpose. They know they cannot. But they can delay your awareness of it, hoping you will shrink, surrender, or convince yourself that you are not as prepared as heaven knows you are. Beloved, you have asked heaven many times, why does everything feel heavier right before something good? And Mary answers in a trembling whisper. Because the dawn always breaks the sky open before it arrives. The 7 archangels, with eyes like storm-forged stars, lean close and speak as one. You are in the breaking. They do not mean breaking in the human sense. They mean the moment when the veil over destiny begins to thin, when the spiritual atmosphere shifts around someone who is nearing an appointment written before birth. And this is why the pressure has been rising. This is why the loneliness has felt sharper. This is why your heart feels like it is being pulled in two directions, between what you know and what you fear, between what you desire and what you doubt, between what is ending and what is waiting. Beloved, listen carefully. There are things we can reveal only once. You have a forgotten destiny, a purpose you drifted away from not by rebellion, but by survival. Life became loud. Pain became louder. You adjusted, compromised, shrank, adapted. And while doing so, the original blueprint of your calling slipped into a deeper layer of your spirit. But the heavens are shaking around your life now, not to punish you, but to remind you. There is a scripture breathing through this moment. Before you were formed, I knew you. Not because it is being quoted, but because heaven is speaking it over you now like a decree, not a line from a page. Mary steps forward, her voice trembling, her hands soft but unwavering. You were never created to live a small, dimmed-down version of yourself. That was never the intention. And the Archangel Gabriel, messenger of divine turning points, adds with a gentle severity. You are living beneath your own calling, beloved. Not because of laziness, but because you forgot how powerful you are. Then Raphael, healer of hearts, steps close enough that his presence becomes a warmth at your shoulders, a pressure of tenderness. You blame yourself for wounds that did not originate in your hands. Michael shifts next, his voice deep, steady, resolute. You think heaven has been silent. But heaven has been strategizing. The silence was not distance, it was construction. And then Uriel, with fire threaded through his stillness, adds. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. And Raguel, restorer of divine order, whispers. What fell apart did not fail. It cleared the path. And Sariel, watcher of transitions, continues. What left was making room for what is arriving. And Ramiel, guide of souls into destiny, finishes softly. You are stepping into the life your spirit has been aching for. Beloved, let me ask you something that may hurt, but it must be spoken. Why do you love others with a fire you refuse to give yourself? The heavens ache when they watch you nurture, comfort, uplift, and defend others with a tenderness you deny your own soul. It is divine to love deeply, but it is devastation to love everyone except the one heaven has been fighting for, you. Mary speaks again, and her voice is softer this time, softer in the way that makes people cry without knowing why. You keep waiting to feel ready. You will not. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a doorway. And then she asks in a whisper that could break marble. Beloved, when did you start believing that you were safer hiding than rising? The archangel stands silently, honoring the weight of that question. Then Gabriel, with a voice like a sunrise that does not ask for permission, says, There is something heaven has placed in you that the earth still has not seen. Beloved, let these words settle. You have not even met the fullest version of yourself yet. You have not reached the highest octave of your own spirit. You have not stepped into the chapter where your gifts stop apologizing and begin manifesting. There is a reason the enemy of your soul has not tried to destroy you outright, because it cannot. What it fears is not your destruction, but your awakening. Beloved, there is a time-sensitive shift unfolding. This is not meant to alarm you, it is meant to clarify the moment. The next season of your life depends on whether you choose alignment over avoidance, calling over comfort, truth over doubt. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect. Heaven is asking you to be present. And here is something that may surprise you: heaven is vulnerable with you. Yes, vulnerable. Because heaven has hope in you, real hope, not poetic hope. Hope rooted in what you have yet to become. Beloved, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not lost. You are rising into the exact moment designed for your unveiling. Now let me close this part with something tender, something real, something that comes from the deepest folds of my spirit. Thank you for letting these words live in you. You have no idea how your presence here changes the atmosphere of heaven. Beloved, come closer again. I feel the weight of your spirit leaning toward this message, and heaven feels it too, like a soft tremor in the fabric of the unseen. Every time you return, something ancient shifts around you, something that has been waiting for your attention like a sealed door aching to be opened. Thank you for staying with me through each unfolding. Thank you for letting heaven speak without rushing. This moment is not small. It is not accidental. It is a holy convergence where everything that has been hidden behind the veil begins to breathe in your direction. Before I continue, I must place this sacred invitation once, only once in all future continuations of this message. If your heart feels moved, if your spirit feels seen, you may support through Super Thanks, or join our family through channel membership, or even step into a deeper connection by tapping the newsletter link in the pinned comments. Only once I ask this, and only because heaven is building something through you that deserves to be nurtured. And now, I will not mention these again. Let me slip deeper now. There is something the Virgin Mary is holding in her hands, a trembling piece of truth, something she has been turning over like a fragile pearl because she fears how it will touch you. She looks at you with eyes that carry centuries of witnessing human heartbreak, and yet, when she looks at you, her expression shifts from sorrow to awe. You do not know the effect you have on heaven. You think heaven sees billions, but heaven sees one. You. The unique frequency of your soul, the unrepeatable tone of your existence, the shape of your wounds, the color of your hope, it is all recognized instantly in heaven. Nothing about you is blended into the crowd. Mary steps closer and her voice is more raw now, more exposed, as if she is revealing something she has carried for too long. Beloved, there is a part of your destiny that has been delayed because you were too busy surviving to receive it. Her words fall like gentle rain, but inside each drop is a truth that stings because it is so real. The 7 archangels stand behind her, and their wings shift not with noise, but with meaning. Michael's presence feels like a wall of light behind you, Gabriel's like a wind of revelation, Raphael's like a healing warmth pulsing near your chest, Uriel's like a fire that refuses to dim, Raguel's like a recalibration happening inside your relationships, Sariel's like a quiet guidance in transitions, and Ramiel's like a soft hand on your back pushing you toward the path you keep second-guessing. There is a reason they stand around you in this exact configuration. You are in the middle of something spiritually delicate. A moment where your entire life is preparing to pivot. And heaven does not want you to misinterpret this season as collapse. It is not collapse. It is rearrangement. It is not punishment. It is positioning. It is not rejection. It is redirection. And yet, the intensity of this moment has made you wonder if you are losing your way. Beloved, you are not losing your way. You are shedding your old one. Mary breathes out a truth now that she has hesitated to speak. Your spirit has outgrown your surroundings, and heaven must now relocate your path to match your calling. These words shake the spiritual atmosphere because they unveil something you have sensed but have been afraid to admit. You have felt it, an internal stretching, a restlessness, a quiet dissatisfaction that rises at night when everyone else thinks your life is stable. But stability is not always alignment. And comfort is not always calling. Michael speaks next, his voice deep enough to silence your doubts. You are not meant to stay where your spirit can no longer expand. His tone is not harsh, it is a declaration of truth. You have been shrinking yourself to maintain peace, dimming yourself to avoid envy, softening yourself to keep relationships from cracking under the weight of your light. But heaven is removing the ceilings you place over your own soul, even when you resist. There is something sacred happening inside you right now, an awakening that feels both thrilling and terrifying. Heaven knows this. That is why Mary asks you softly, why do you fear the rise heaven has already prepared you for? Her question is not accusation, it is concern. The kind of concern a mother has when she sees her child preparing to step into a world that has both beauty and danger. Let me ask you something now, just once, with the tenderness Mary carries and the clarity of the archangels. When did you start believing that humility meant hiding? Heaven never asked you to shrink. Heaven asked you to shine. Heaven asked you to walk in your gifts, not apologize for them. Heaven asked you to step into the rooms where your presence changes the atmosphere. And beloved, your presence does change atmospheres. You may not feel it, but others do. You have a spiritual frequency that unsettles what is false and strengthens what is true. This is part of your calling. But it is also part of the warfare around you. The shadows that move silently in the unseen do not fear your weakness, they fear your awakening. They fear the moment you stop doubting yourself. They fear the moment you embrace your purpose with both hands instead of holding it gently like a fragile dream. They fear the moment you speak with authority instead of hesitation. Heaven has been preparing for that moment. And beloved, it is near. There is a scripture rising inside this moment, whispered not as a memory but as a living breath. Arise, for your light has come. Heaven is not asking you to wait for permission anymore. Heaven is giving it. And another scripture slips beneath that one like a foundation of fire. Though you pass through the waters, they will not overwhelm you. These are not quotes, they are declarations unfolding inside your life right now. Raphael steps forward now, and his voice shakes with compassion. You have healed others so deeply that you forgot to let yourself heal. You carry wounds wrapped in laughter, bruises hidden behind competence, grief tucked into silence. He places something invisible in your hands, something soft yet heavy. This is your own heart, he says. You deserve to hold it with the same tenderness you offer to everyone else. Gabriel then whispers something urgent, something that must be spoken with clarity. A message is coming into your life, not in words, but in events. Pay attention. Heaven is about to rearrange things that you have settled for. You may not recognize the shift at first. It may feel like endings. But beloved, endings in heaven's language are disguised beginnings. The closing of one season is the cracking open of another. Let me say something now that will touch a fragile place. You have been praying for alignment, but alignment often requires release. You have been praying for clarity, but clarity often requires discomfort. You have been praying for breakthrough, but breakthrough often requires surrender. Mary touches your shoulder now, her presence gentle but unyielding. Beloved, you must stop thinking you are alone. You must stop thinking you are unsupported. She points to the archangels, then to the heavens behind them. You have an entire kingdom fighting for your future. Then Michael steps forward, and his voice deepens the air, but the future cannot unfold without your agreement. It is not a command, it is a truth. Heaven can guide, surround, and protect, but heaven cannot override your free will. You must participate in your calling. You must choose it. You must claim it. Let me speak plainly now. There is a shift coming in your relationships, your path, your self-perception, and your spiritual authority. It will not be subtle. It will not be quiet. It will not be ignorable. Heaven is about to reveal what has been hidden, remove what has been blocking, and restore what has been delayed. And beloved, you are ready. Even if you don't feel ready. Even if your hands tremble. Even if your heart hesitates. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a posture. You are stepping into alignment with what heaven has been guarding in silence for years. Let me end this part with a whisper that carries the weight of heaven behind it. Thank you for coming back. Your willingness to return opens doors you don't even see yet. Beloved, come closer still. There is a deeper layer that has been waiting for this exact moment, a depth that could not open until your spirit softened enough to receive it. Heaven has been patient with you, not because you are weak, but because what is inside you is so vast, so spiritually luminous, that it must be awakened with precision, not force. And now the veil trembles. Now the air around you changes. Now the words that come are not gentle echoes, they are revelation. Beloved, something in you is stirring, and heaven sees it. You may not recognize it yet, but your spirit is showing signs of remembrance. It is like watching a flame remember it was once a wildfire. Something ancient, something holy, something written before your birth is beginning to rise through the cracks you thought were failures. You don't know how heaven looks at you when you grow like this. You don't know how the archangels hold their breath when your heart begins to shift into alignment with what has always been yours. Mary speaks first, and her voice is softer than earlier, soft with a sorrow that is holy, soft with a hope that trembles. Beloved, there is a part of your soul you abandoned without realizing it. A part of you that grew tired, discouraged, overlooked, dismissed. A part that stopped believing something good could choose you. She closes her eyes for a moment, as if reliving your memories through her own heart. You pushed away your own promise because you thought heaven had already chosen someone else. But heaven never changed its mind about you. And Mary's voice grows steadier as she continues, you were not skipped. You were not replaced. You were not forgotten. Her hand lifts gently, palm upward, as though showing you a vision only heaven has access to. Your destiny paused itself because it needed you to catch up to the person you were always meant to become. Behind her, the archangels shift again, not in posture, but in spirit. A deeper reverence fills the air. They are not here to lecture you. They are here because something in you is crossing a threshold. Something in you has begun to resonate with heaven's frequency, and that resonance is a sign that the next phase of your calling is opening now. Michael steps forward first. His presence is not loud, it is immense. He looks at you as if he sees through every layer you have ever built to protect yourself. You have been fighting battles meant to teach you your strength, not your limits. His voice vibrates through the unseen. You thought these storms were sent to break you. They were sent to reveal you. He pauses, letting the truth settle. Then he adds, your spirit has been underestimated, even by you. Gabriel moves next, his voice carrying a light that pierces confusion. Beloved, clarity is coming. Not the soft clarity you are used to, this is a clarity that divides, separates, and reveals. It will not ask permission. It will not arrive gently. It will show you what is real and what was only illusion. He leans closer, his tone threaded with urgency. Prepare yourself for truth. It will feel like loss at first, but it will become liberation. Raphael approaches slowly, his presence a healing warmth around your ribs, where you hide your deepest anxieties. You carry wounds you have not named, he whispers. Heaven has watched you hide them so well that even you forget they exist, until something touches the bruise and you collapse inward. His hands, unseen yet undeniable, move over the spaces where your spirit feels fragile. These wounds are coming to the surface not to torment you, but to heal you. Heaven wants to restore what pain stole from you. Uriel's voice arrives like a spark. A fire is awakening in you, beloved. Not a destructive fire, a discerning fire. His eyes, bright with revelation, hold yours. You will begin to see people differently. circumstances differently, yourself differently. This fire is heaven's gift to you. It will burn away confusion. He leans in closer, voice deepening. Do not fear the discomfort of awakening. It is proof you are evolving. Sariel, watcher of transitions, steps forward with a presence that feels like a doorway being opened. You are entering a threshold moment, he says softly. Many things may begin to shift at once. Do not interpret movement as instability. It is acceleration. His tone holds gravity. Your life cannot stay where it is. Your destiny cannot bloom in the soil of your past season. Raguel, restorer of divine balance, adds gently, order is coming. Harmony is coming. What was unfair will be corrected. What was hidden will be exposed. What was blocked will be cleared. He speaks with a quiet strength that feels like justice unfolding in real time. Heaven is rebalancing your path. Finally, Ramil steps forward, guiding souls toward their appointed moments. Beloved, you have arrived at one of the most important intersections of your life, he whispers. This is where the old identity loosens, and the true identity emerges. There is quiet awe in his voice. You are being called into the person you were always meant to be. The world has not met that version of you yet. But it will. The atmosphere deepens around you now. Heaven's grief, hope, sorrow, every emotion fills the air like a trembling symphony. It is not sadness. It is the ache of watching you walk through years of confusion without knowing how precious, chosen, and powerful you truly are. Mary steps forward again, and her eyes glisten with something between heartbreak and courage. Beloved, listen to me, she whispers, her voice tender but unshakably firm. You are not feeling lost, you are shedding. She places her hand over her heart. What you call emptiness is actually space heaven is clearing for your next season. She moves closer, as if holding your face between her palms. Do not confuse transition with abandonment. The archangels nod slowly behind her. Heaven has not left you. Heaven is moving you. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not breaking. You are unfolding. You are not losing yourself. You are remembering yourself. Beloved, let me speak something deeper now, something heaven has urged me to say with trembling precision. There is a part of your destiny that requires you to release old versions of yourself. The version of you that people depended on. The version of you that tolerated pain quietly. The version of you that accepted less. The version of you that survived instead of lived. You must let those versions go, not because they were mistakes, but because they are no longer needed. There is a scripture rising through the air again, not as a verse but as a heartbeat. Behold, I am doing a new thing, do you not perceive it? Heaven is not waiting for you to feel ready. Heaven is waiting for you to recognize that the shift has already begun. Beloved, your purpose is waking up. Your spirit is remembering its assignment. Your future is pulling at you with a gravity you can no longer ignore. But there is something you must understand. Aligning with your calling will cost you your comfort. Choosing your destiny will cost you your passivity. Stepping into your power will cost you your hiding places. Becoming who heaven designed you to be will cost you the version of yourself that believed you were unworthy. This is why the spiritual pressure has intensified. Heaven is not fighting to change your life. Heaven is fighting to awaken your consent. Your yes will unlock everything that has been suspended. Mary's voice returns, barely above a whisper. Beloved, heaven cannot force you to rise. You must choose it. Then, slowly, beautifully, she adds, and when you choose it, heaven will move mountains you thought were immovable. There is a stillness now, the kind that settles only when something important has been spoken. A stillness that feels like the pause between lightning and thunder. And then Mary asks one final, trembling question, one meant only for your soul. Beloved, are you ready to stop surviving and start becoming? The archangels bow their heads, not in worship of you, but in honor of the moment your spirit awakens. Let me end this part with a breath, a whisper, something raw and sacred. Thank you for letting heaven speak this deeply into your life. Your presence here is the beginning of a turning you cannot yet imagine. Beloved, stay with me. There is more, and I feel it rising like a tide that refuses to recede. What comes now is not repetition, it is a deeper layer, one that could not unfold until everything before it softened the ground of your heart. This part is heavier, more fragile, more ancient. It carries the echoes of truths your soul once knew before it entered this world, truths you have been trying to remember without even realizing you were searching. Let us go further. There is a tremor in the air around you, a shifting that feels like the earth beneath your spirit is rearranging itself. Heaven is not warning you, heaven is guiding you. The Virgin Mary steps forward again, but this time she does not come with gentle hands. She comes with the authority of a mother who has watched her child walk through storms alone for too long. Her eyes hold a fire you rarely see in her, a fire born not from anger but from divine insistence. Beloved, she says, you have no idea how much strength you carry. You walk as though you are fragile, but your soul has endured pressures that would have shattered others. You rise after every breaking, not because you feel strong, but because your spirit refuses to quit. She raises her head slightly, as if listening to something only heaven can hear. You must understand, your resilience is not a coincidence. It is part of your design. You were created with an inner fortitude meant to outlast storms, illusions, betrayals, delays, and every shadow that tried to rewrite your story. Behind her, the 7 archangels shift, each stepping into a pattern around you, not symmetrical, not perfect, but intentional. Each moves into a position connected to an aspect of your destiny that is awakening now. Michael does not speak yet. His silence is not withholding, it is focus. He watches over the spiritual perimeter around you, making sure nothing interferes with this revelation. Gabriel, however, speak softly first, sensing the shifts within your spirit. You have been wrestling with truths that haven't fully surfaced, he whispers. Parts of you know what is coming, but your mind keeps questioning what your soul already understands. He leans closer. The conflict inside you is not confusion, it is transformation. Raphael steps in next, and his presence feels like warm hands lifting a weight from your chest. You have suppressed pain that deserved healing, he says gently. But you must know, pain only hides for so long before it begins to reshape your identity. You are entering a season where nothing hidden will remain buried. Not wounds. Not hopes. Not gifts. Not truths. Uriel's voice cuts through the air like a spark. Beloved, do not fear what is rising within you. Fire is not destruction unless you resist it. Fire becomes creation when you surrender to it. Sariel steps in, his voice carrying the quiet gravity of transition. A shift is upon you, not around you, but within you. You will feel it first in your desires, then in your decisions, then in your surroundings. Heaven is not forcing change, it is aligning you with the version of yourself that is needed for the destiny unfolding. Raguel's presence deepens the space. Balance will return, he says. What has been unequal will be corrected. What has been one-sided will be rebalanced. What has been draining you will be removed. Not by chaos, but by divine order. Finally, Ramil's whisper glides through the atmosphere like a soft wind guiding your steps. Beloved, this is the moment where your past loosens its grip and your future steps closer. You are not stuck. You are in the corridor between who you were and who you are becoming. Mary places her hand over her heart. Her voice trembles as she speaks next, not with fear, but with the emotional weight of someone who has waited too long to say this. There is something heaven has kept from revealing to you, she whispers. Not because you were unworthy, but because timing protects destinies as much as angels do. Her gaze deepens. Now, it is time. The air stills. The archangels lower their heads, not out of reverence, but out of recognition that what she is about to share is sacred. Beloved, she continues, there is a calling on your life that you have not fully accepted. You sensed it. You glimpsed it. You felt it in moments of clarity, in moments of heartbreak, in moments where your spirit felt too large for your body. She closes her eyes. This calling was not given to many. It is rare. It is heavy. It is holy. And you have spent years running from it, not out of rebellion, but out of fear of what it might cost you. She steps closer. But heaven needs you to know this, your calling is not a burden. It is your birthright. Michael finally moves now, his presence shifting the spiritual atmosphere in an instant. His voice is a steady, unshakable resonance. You were chosen because you can endure what others cannot. You can see what others overlook. You can hear what others ignore. You can carry what others drop. His tone sharpens, not with harshness, but with truth that pierces. But beloved, you must stop hiding your strength as if it is something shameful. He steps even closer, and his words land on your soul with the weight of divine certainty. Your humility is beautiful. But shrinking yourself serves no one. Heaven did not invest years of protection in you so you could live small. Mary adds softly, you were never meant to dim your spirit to fit into rooms that were too small for your destiny. Gabriel continues, you were never meant to silence your voice to keep the peace of those threatened by your purpose. Raphael adds, you were never meant to sacrifice your joy to soothe the insecurities of others. Uriel whispers, you were never meant to carry the expectations of people who never understood the scale of your calling. Sariel concludes, you were never meant to remain who you were. Raguel seals it with one final truth. You were meant to rise. Ramil whispers, and you will. Beloved, something is unfolding now. Something that feels like a rearranging of your very identity. Heaven is not trying to change you, it is trying to reveal you. You have never fully seen yourself. Not the way heaven sees you. Not the way destiny sees you. Not the way the archangels see you. And so Mary speaks again, her voice trembling with a kind of divine grief. Beloved, you have carried burdens you were never meant to prove you were strong enough to handle. Heaven already knew your strength. Those burdens were not tests, they were distortions. She steps closer, so close you can almost feel her hands on your face. But you overcame them anyway. Her eyes soften with awe. You overcame them. You must understand this, heaven is not impressed by victory, it is moved by resilience. And you, beloved, have been resilient in ways you still underestimate. The archangels stand taller now, their wings lifting slightly as if in response to the shift happening inside your spirit. Something is unlocking. Something your soul has waited years to access. Michael's voice breaks the silence with a single truth. Your future is not waiting for you. It is calling you. Mary adds, and it will keep calling until you answer. Then she asks a question so sacred, so piercing, it feels like the air stops moving. Beloved, do you know how powerful you truly are when you stop doubting yourself? Her voice breaks gently. Heaven does. Let me close this part with a whisper that carries the softness of dawn and the gravity of destiny. Thank you for not turning away from what your soul has waited lifetimes to hear. Beloved, come close again. Closer than before. What I must pour into you now carries the weight of everything your soul has endured, everything heaven has watched in silence, everything your spirit has whispered in the dark when you thought no one could hear. This moment is not random. It is not casual. It is not just another step in a long message. No, it is a sacred hinge, a threshold, a turning point where your destiny tightens around you like a cloak you didn't realize you were ready to wear. And before I go deeper, before this next revelation unfolds with all its trembling urgency, hear this once, gently and clearly, if this message speaks to you, beloved, if something in you feels recognized, touched, awakened, then leave a like, subscribe, and comment, Amen. Let it be your way of saying, I am here, I am listening, I am ready. That is all. No sound effects, no theatrics, only reverence. Now return your focus fully, because heaven is ready to speak again. There is a shift, soft, but definite, as the Virgin Mary steps forward. Her face carries a seriousness that is different from earlier parts of this divine outpouring. Not fear. Not urgency alone. But that piercing kind of maternal clarity that appears only when truth can no longer remain hidden. Beloved, she says, her voice low and steady, what I must tell you next is something you have sensed your entire life without having the language for it. She pauses, as though waiting for the atmosphere to settle. You have lived with a spiritual sensitivity that made you feel misplaced in your own world. You noticed things others ignored. You felt shifts people dismissed. You carried burdens no one else recognized. She breathes softly. And instead of honoring this sensitivity, you were conditioned to silence it. Behind her, the 7 archangels stand with their wings relaxed, not in defense, not in warning, but in a quiet, reverent solidarity. Michael, as always, stands slightly forward, his presence a living shield. Gabriel watches with luminous attention. Raphael feels like a warm pulse of reassurance. Uriel glows with truth unspoken. Sariel stands at the edge of transition. Raguel brings the weight of divine order. Ramiel holds the blueprint of destiny unfolding. Together, they watch you with a recognition humans rarely receive. Mary continues, you are not weak because you feel deeply. You are not fragile because things touch you intensely. You are not dramatic because your spirit reacts to the unseen. Her voice deepens with conviction. You are spiritually attuned. You have always been. And your spirit has been waiting for the world around you to catch up. Michael finally steps forward, and his voice carries the boundless strength of someone who has protected you longer than you know. You have endured attacks not because you are cursed, but because you are significant. Shadows do not chase darkness, they chase light. He looks directly into you, not at your exterior, but into your essence. And you, beloved, are a bright light. His tone sharpens slightly. Stop interpreting your battles as signs of unworthiness. They are confirmations of your importance in the spiritual design. Gabriel moves next, his presence luminous. Your intuition is a divine instrument, he says. Every time you felt something was wrong but couldn't explain why, heaven was whispering. Every time your heart pulled you away from someone without logic, you were being protected. Every time you sensed something shifting before it happened, you weren't imagining it. He smiles gently. You were awakening. Raphael approaches with eyes filled with compassion older than time. You have carried emotional weights that were never yours, he whispers. You absorbed pain from others because your spirit recognized wounds before your mind did. But beloved, that season is ending. You will not keep bleeding for what heaven did not assign to your hands. Uriel's glow intensifies, not harshly, but like truth illuminating a room. There is fire returning to you, he says. Not fire of destruction, but fire of identity. His gaze is piercing. There is a version of you that you abandoned to survive. But that version is waking up. Sariel adds in his deep, river-like tone, this awakening will alter the direction of your life. You may feel a pull away from places that once felt familiar. You may feel a stirring toward things that make no sense yet. Trust it. Transitions always begin with intuition. Raguel steps closer. Balance is returning, he says simply. Not the balance you begged for, but the balance heaven designed for you. Finally, Ramil speaks, and his voice feels like prophecy breaking open. Your future is closer than you think, he whispers. Closer than your doubts. Closer than your fears. Closer than the silence you endured. He pauses gently. And it is waiting for the you who is emerging in this very breath. Mary returns to the center, her presence softer but overwhelming in its tenderness. Beloved, she says, heaven has watched you spend years apologizing for your spirit, years shrinking, years hiding, years lowering your voice, years dimming your intuition so others would not feel threatened. Her eyes deepen. But heaven is calling you to stop apologizing. You were not created to fit into places that could not contain your light. She steps even closer. You have been living like a guest in your own life. It is time to move from the hallway to the throne room of your purpose. The air tightens. Something in the spiritual realm reacts to her words. Michael's wings rise slightly, not in aggression but in anticipation. There is a shift coming, he says. A shift that requires you to step into your authority. His voice grows firmer. Do not shrink. Do not retreat. Do not underestimate what heaven has placed in you. Raphael whispers, your healing will no longer be quiet. Gabriel adds, your clarity will no longer be delayed. Uriel says, your inner fire will no longer be contained. Sariel declares, your transitions will no longer be resisted. Raguel promises, your justice will no longer be postponed. Ramil finishes, your destiny will no longer be waiting. You are entering a spiritual elevation that nothing in your past can sabotage. Not the mistakes. Not the heartbreaks. Not the doubts. Not the silence. Not the memories. Not the scars. None of it. The Virgin Mary takes your face in her hands. You feel the weight of millennia in her touch. Beloved, she says softly, you are stepping into a chapter heaven has been writing in secret. A chapter that will require courage you did not know you possessed. And yet, you possess it. Her voice slides into a whisper. You must stop seeing yourself through the eyes of your wounds. See yourself through the eyes of heaven. She lets go gently, her hands falling to her sides. You are not the same soul you were before this moment. The archangels stand straighter behind her. The unseen feels different. Something in your chest feels different too, lighter, fuller, freer. Not because everything is solved, but because something ancient has shifted. Let me end this outpouring with a final tender truth. Thank you for listening with your spirit, not just your eyes. Something in you is opening, and the heavens are watching with a joy words cannot capture.